What's up, Internet? Today we're talking all about Quan Chi and Cyrax. So this team used to be one of Quan's best teams way back when he released, but that was really because the stars sort of aligned for Quan and Cyrax to be one of his better teams at the time because one, down forward 3, this portal didn't exist, down forward 4 didn't exist, his bone cage didn't actually cage people on block, and on hit it didn't even stay up. It actually broke immediately as that little animation the opponent does ends. So Quan was really bad at the time, but Cyrax was actually able to give Quan way more space control with things like the net. You could also up Quan's defense game when it comes to zoning by being able to anti-air people with the upwards buzzsaw, and also being able to have a lot of bomb setups where Quan was able to do some really crazy unblockable standing reset combos at the time, but you can no longer do those unblockable standing reset combos because Cyrax bomb now hits mid, so you're not able to kick someone into the bone cage, let them reset, blow them up, and then continue the combo, and you'd get pretty close to like 50% from one sequence to another. Now you have to actually immediately combo with the bomb because you can no longer let them reset, because that's just not how the move works anymore, and this is the damage you get now. You can actually get 34% or a flat 340 rather than 339, but you can also get less than that. It's completely dependent on how much dot damage they take from the bone cage. So those are the major changes with this team, and this is why this team has kind of fallen off as much as they did, because overall Cyrax got buffed and overall Quan Chi got buffs. It's just that their buffs actually kind of made them split apart in a weird way, because you don't get crazy standing reset setups with the bone cage and being able to just hold people in place while Cyrax pops them up for you. That's just something you don't do anymore. That's enough rambling about how the team used to be. Let's talk about how the team is right now. So obviously 1-2 still combos with the net, as I showed earlier. The optimal combo is actually vastly different now. So that is his new optimal for his 1-2 combos. And another buff that this team got actually that's new, as pointed out by this commenter right here on my last guide, is that his forward 2, because of the new hit reaction it has, before forward 2 would actually make your opponent stumble back, I believe. Now it's kind of like the sector rocket hit reaction, which means you can also go into the same combo. .386, so there you go. That's what those combos look like. But other than that, the team kind of falls short in a lot of places, unfortunately. So this team is all about setup, right? So obviously having the vertical buzzsaw will help you in zoning. It'll also allow you to pick up off of certain things a little bit more, like 213 you can pick up off of now with the buzzsaw, but there's too much gravity and it's just not worth it. And on top of that, you can create some plus frame scenarios with it where you do something like this, and from here you can actually get some setups going like so. So yeah, you can do stuff like that. However, it's not really good in my opinion, because this is spending meter and it's spending both bars of cameo, and it's not guaranteed that you're going to get the armor portal off or you're going to get any value from the armor portal, because you're neither plus nor minus from this. When you special cancel from his strings into the armor portal, your opponent can easily, do something like a sub-zero slide and punish you before you get armor. So again, it's just not terribly good to do. It's costing you still 2 bars of cameo and 1 bar of meter. Net by itself, without, comboing with it, is also still super good for Quan. Very good space control tool. It's mid, right? It's super plus. So you're able to just shoot this out and then immediately you can pop a portal down, and most characters aren't going to be able to punish you, but again, this is a matchup dependent thing. If your opponent can teleport, well, they're just going to teleport around the net and hit you and full combo punish you. But if your opponent can't do that, let's say you're playing against General Shao, that guy can't get in for the life of him. He cannot get in on people. So this is a very good option to have. You're basically also able to give yourself some guaranteed plus frames off of something like stand 4 by doing stand 4 net and then doing something like this. So his net, super good, and you can also of course combo with it. And if your opponent blocks it up close, well, you'll get hit advantage there as well. And if they don't check it, that is 3, 2, 1 mark. However, big downside is that on block, it's not real, right? It's not a real thing where people are going to be able to, where people aren't going to be able to interrupt it. They absolutely can interrupt it with their own buttons and armored moves. So the net is really more of a space control tool at around, mid screen or at full screen. Another good thing about the net is that this is actually the quote-unquote invulnerable. It's not invulnerable, but this is the gut up option of Cyrax. So you can wake up with it, but is that a good idea? No, it's a super slow move, and you're just asking for both Quan and Cyrax to get hit, which means you won't be able to get breaker, but if someone gets hit by this, you're going to be able to go into the optimal right. So that is something. It's not a good something, but it's something. Now the final thing with Cyrax are the bombs, and this is the main thing with this team. So this team went from I'm gonna do net and I'm gonna do a crazy standing reset combo on you and deal tons of damage. So it went from that to actually just being a full-on bomb setup team. Being able to have Cyrax out on the screen, moving around, mind you, and being able to set up zoning like so is super good and super strong in certain matchups. Again, this is something that's completely negated by a teleport. All your opponent has to do is basically they lose the first game, then they swap to Motaro, and now they have a teleport, and this setup doesn't matter. Obviously, if your timing is a little bit off and you're trying to move Cyrax behind you, well, Cyrax can still blow you up as well and hit you, which is obviously really, really bad. But if your opponent doesn't have a teleport, then this is obviously super good, because Quan has probably one of the best anti-airs in the game. So if someone tried to jump over Cyrax rather than just hit him and let the bomb fall over, then you can actually get conversions into Cyrax bombs, which are pretty cool, which I'll show at the end of this video in the combo section if you want to see that. But the other major thing is that it's a special cancel, right? It's a summon. And if you do forward assist, it comes out in front of you. If you do down assist, it comes out in front of the opponent. So this is actually really scary paired up with Quan stand 4, because you're able to hit someone at stand 4, and then all of a sudden, now Cyrax is right on top of them. And they have to, hit Cyrax for him to get rid of the bomb. But if they do that, then you can actually punish them. Right, you can catch them out with a down forward 4. And in some cases, it really depends on when they press. But you can obviously do a sky drop, but that's a lot more risky because your opponent will probably recover by the time sky drop is active. So just punishing with down forward 4 is the better option, as you can see. So that is something you can do, and the unfortunate thing though is that yes, the bomb does not pick up off of down forward 4. It actually does pick up off a sky drop though, but you're not going to get a combo out of it. You're going to have a number of factors come into play. How far is the bomb? And when did I sky drop, right? But yeah, unfortunately, you cannot animation interrupt and get a big pickup off that. So that's kind of like the gist of the bomb, right? You have it on the screen. If you're playing up close, you're going to be able to, make people respect some things, like having, on block. Let's say I want to do some overhead low. I'll do overhead low into this, and then my opponent is probably going to be afraid to press, right? because if they press, what's going to happen is that I can detonate the bomb at any moment. And the scariest thing to have with this team is Cyrax on one side and Quan on the other. So when you do something, like you hit them with a stand 4, let's say, you call out Cyrax, doing a stand 4 sky drop is actually not too bad of an idea. And there's not really any counterplay to this, which is actually the cool part, because if you do this, another stand 4 into sky drop, and you blow up the bomb, it makes you safe, and you're going to be very, very plus afterwards. So it's actually a pretty neat little thing you can do, and then you can, press any button you want after that, and your opponent just kind of has to take it. So that's a cool setup you can do with the bomb from the stand 4 and putting it in front of them. But the main ways you're going to be setting up the bomb, rather than, trying to confirm off a stand 4, is either off of doing a combo right into net, and you're going to sacrifice damage for a bomb setup plus a armor drain setup, or meter drain setup, excuse me. So that's one of the ways you're going to set it up. The other way is that you're going to do it, mid combo like so. Quan gets a lot of plus frames when it comes to his combos, which is good because he needs it to set up his portals. But with Cyrax, you get a lot of plus frames with his combos. And the good thing is that you're spaced out in such a way where Cyrax is right between the two of you. So if they want to do a wake up armor, let's say they have an armor move that doesn't side switch you, right? So Cyrax is going to drop the bomb, and after they do an armor move, the armor's gone, Cyrax is going to blow them up. So it's going to keep you safe and prevent people from armoring through you. So in certain matchups, that bomb being there is going to actually punish someone for armoring through you. But if they do have a side switch, well, it's not nearly as good, because if it's Sub-Zero, for example, there is potential for you to get side switched and you'll land on your own bomb, and that will actually pop you up. So you're going to give your opponent a free combo, which obviously is really bad. This is Editing Crying Man here. I actually forgot to mention this while I was recording, but back 3-4 is a good way to actually set up the bomb. You can see you have a lot of hit advantage and cancel advantage from that. So this just guarantees that you get the bomb out, and you can actually start moving it, before your opponent is active. You can see right there. So back 3-4 and just special canceling into the forward version in specific. Do not do the back version or the down version. Because if you do the down version, Cyrax is going to be a lot closer to you than you want him to be, because you want him to be closer to your opponent. So that was really it. Just back 3-4, and then you special cancel into the forward assist to set up the bomb in front of you, and then you can start moving it around. And one more thing, I forgot to answer the question. Is this team still good? And my answer is that the team is still good. It's just not as good as it used to be. It's a very niche team that, you're gonna have to dedicate basically all your time and effort into solely playing Quan Chi Cyrax and figuring out all these crazy bomb setups and pressure setups you can do. It's a lot like playing Cyrax. It literally is just a lot like playing Cyrax. Figuring out how to set up your bombs and bomb looping people, right? And that's exactly what it is. So this is easily a niche specialist team. So that's it for this little interruption here. Now we'll get back to the video. So that is kind of the main gist of the team. Always getting the Cyrax bombs out so you can go ahead and get a lot of pressure on block and set up things on block, because for the most part people are going to be respecting this bomb. And you're also able to confirm into combos with it, which is nice. Though the combos aren't too good, or they're not too damaging, unfortunately. But yeah, setting up bombs as much as possible, moving Cyrax around on the screen, and having him out there to help you zone and create essentially a dead zone. But that's kind of it for Quan and Cyrax. Now you can get grab combos, right? If you have 2 bars of meter and you want to spend it, you can do that, and this doesn't cost you anything in terms of cameo gauge. You can't do this, and 20%, it's super heavily scaled, but you will get a bomb set up, or if you want to spend your last bar of meter, you can put the armor portal out. But Again, that's not too good to do. Now, if you have Cyrax set up like this and your opponent is just blocking, you know, you can do a shove, but you have to space yourself out properly to where they'll get shoved into Cyrax and not you. So you can do some cool setups like this, especially in the corner. But again, heavily scaled because it's an animation interruption, or, you know, it counts as an animation interruption. So the most you'll get is like 14%. So even though it's a really cool thing you can do, it's just, again, it's not super worth it, right? And it's really risky because someone can obviously micro duck, do a down 2, and they can do the enhanced down 2 to get an air combo, jump cancel afterwards that's armored, meaning the Cyrax bomb will not do anything to them. And lastly, yes, horizontal buzzsaws can combo with Quan Chi's back throw in a number of ways, but all the different ways are shit. They're just bad. You can do it from here. It's really weird. I think I showed this off way back in my initial Quan Chi guide, but so if it hits this way, you're not gonna actually get a combo out of it, right? Because they get to block whatever you do afterwards. If you time it just a little bit differently, this actually shows you how Quan Chi's back throw works. It actually just puts your opponent, just makes them invisible and takes them super far away before he turns around. But obviously you're spending 2 bars of cameo, so this isn't really worth doing. And if you time it to where Quan Chi starts waving his hands around right here, you can get a pickup. However, it's very random, right? You might get that, but you're not going to be able to follow up with it because there's just too much gravity. 2-1-3 you can pick up off of though, which is kind of nice, but again, heavily scaled, so it's not really worth doing. But yeah, that's kind of it for Quan and Cyrax. It used to be one of his best teams, but it's just, there's too many changes and buffs that have kind of split the two in completely different directions. Before, it was about doing unblockable resets and crazy meter drain setups, right? And that would give him a lot of damage, and that would give him a lot, you know, it was unblockable and unbreakable because the net would drain their meter, and so did the orange portal. And they couldn't block this, they just had to take a big, you know, 40 to 50% damage sequence. But now that they've got buffed in these different ways, it's just, it doesn't work like that anymore, unfortunately. So now I'm just going to show some combos. I'm not, unfortunately, not going to show any matches because I am kind of dedicated to Quan Movado right now in Kombat League, and I like recording in Kombat League rather than regular casual matches. Maybe next season I'll play nothing but Quan Cyrax. That could be cool. Maybe another weird team for Quan Chi, but that's going to be it for this video. I know it's not super exciting, and unfortunately there's just nothing too crazy with them. Or not anymore, at least. So that's it for Quan Chi and Cyrax. If there's anything I got wrong or there's some tech that I'm missing out on, please feel free to let me know in the comments and just tell me, you know, like, oh, you can do that standing reset still, you just have to time it this way or something like that. Because, you know, all information like that is only helpful to everyone who watches this video and everyone who goes to read the comments as well. And I'll read it too. I always read the comments. So yeah, that's it for Quan Cyrax. That's it for this one. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.